just to live it out. Say what's on your mind just to hear it loud. Everybody knows me, really that's the old me. Going through some changes right here and now. I've been on my grind just to live it out. Say what's on your mind just to hear it loud. Everybody knows me, really that's the old me. Going through some changes right here and now.
Hey, all right. So we are back with, what is this, episode 4? Fuck it, 4 episodes down already. And I got my man Karim here, my little cousin.
What's going on?
Yeah. Look, he all shy and timid and shit. Listen, if you want to pull the mic off, you're more than welcome to.
No, that's cool.
All right. So I got him in here. Me and him been doing a lot of chopping it up. You know what I mean? We're a little bit older now. I got him by a couple years. And as I said, we grew up together and shit like that. That's my little cousin. So a lot has changed, man. A lot has changed. Niggas are grown men now. I'm going without the mic stand today. Niggas are grown men now today. Like now. It's just crazy.
Definitely a lot of change, man. Getting older.
I'm surprised you still don't got no kids. That's what I'm most surprised. I'm not trying to jinx you or nothing, but that's what I'm niggas knocking on the table.
Let's knock on wood. Nah, we're not focused on that right now. We're not focused on that.
I feel that. What you got in the works though?
I mean, as far as everything right now, it's just about keep progressing, enduring the journey, and just doing things I set out to do a while ago and just start doing that shit now. You know what I mean?
I feel that. It's definitely hard to fucking put a plan in place and then put the work in to do it and have the time to do it and the resources to do it. There's a lot of roadblocks that get in the way whenever you plan shit. Yeah. So I definitely feel that. So I mean, more specifically though, like when you say I'm putting in the work, what are you working on?
All right, so right now we got me. First of all, this big move. So I'm trying to move before January, or around January time, and we're trying to move out of the state, go to Florida. More entrepreneur opportunities there, right? And stuff like that. As far as money right now, it's working a regular job, you know what I mean? But I also invest and look for other opportunities right now. So I'm basically trying to get out the rat race, as I would say.
It definitely is a fucking rat race.
So I'm trying to get out of that right now, but I'm still, you know what I mean, humble, living humble, working, just doing what I got to do to get there.
That's beautiful, dog.
Yeah.
That's beautiful because we definitely didn't come up in a place where a lot of these tools were given to us. You know what I mean? A lot of it was seeking you shall find.
Yep.
You know what I mean? A lot of those answers that we're looking for today, we had to go out and find ourselves because our parents didn't have the tools. You know what I mean? We all have.
Not at all.
He understands because, you know what I mean? Our moms partied together. They raised all of us together, you know, yada, yada, yada. But, you know, it's definitely possible, though. Yeah. So I'm happy to see that you're not afraid of the uphill battle that you know you got to climb.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's
taking responsibility, man.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts. How old are you now?
23.
Oh, you're still a little bit young. Nah, but that's what's up because at 23, I wasn't investing yet.
Okay.
I wasn't investing. So you got me by a step ahead. I damn sure wasn't thinking about moving out of the state. Yeah. You know what I mean? All the roots are here. So I wouldn't say it was a fear thing, but I also never took the step. So
I'm like going out to school and stuff and being in different states and stuff. I already did it, so it's like it's easy for me to take that. Right out of the high school, I did that, so it's like easy for me to do it.
Where'd you go again? I remember the one place was Cali. Where was the other one?
In Cali. I went to Kansas. Then when I finished school in the 2020, like I stopped playing football, I stopped going to school and stuff.
Right.
I actually moved to Ohio and started a business out there with Nation. And then
is that what he's continuing now?
Yeah, he's still in it right now.
Okay.
But yeah, I did that and then came back out here. It wasn't for me doing this construction stuff. So I was like, you know what, let me go find out what's really for me and let me go find out what I really want to do because, you know what I mean, it's more about fulfillment as I would think so. You know what I mean, I want to live my life fulfilled and do things that I enjoy doing and would like bring value to people. Right. You know what I mean? So I want to do stuff like that. So I'm like, let me go find my own lane. That was his lane. I'm going to go find my own lane. Let me push back.
He's definitely good at it too. Yeah, but definitely. That manual labor shit is different.
Yeah.
It's different to be out there working on your hands and knees. I mean, it's very gratifying if that's what you're into. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You're able to build and provide for your family in that aspect. But everybody got their own path. Like you said, everybody's on their own journey. Have you figured that out yet?
I mean,
what lane?
I just want to say one thing about that too. Because there's steps, when we were out there were steps to get, you know what I mean, more out of it. but some are willing to take he's willing to wait that out to take those steps. He started way before me. When I went out there, I wanted to, I'm already trying to get things going faster than what we could handle at the moment with just being me and him. So like certain people are willing to take those steps in certain areas, which
For sure.
I wasn't. That wasn't me. What did I find anything? I haven't. I did. I know what I like to do, but being young and stuff, it's still learning and experience and just putting my hands in a whole bunch of things. But I know what I like to do as far as I like helping people. I like bringing value to people. I don't want to work for nobody. I want to be someone who's
that working for other people shit is dead.
Yeah.
That shit's dead. I think if there's anything the pandemic taught us is that we don't need jobs. A lot of motherfuckers don't need jobs.
Well, it depends what you did during the pandemic. Because if you were just receiving the checks and not really doing much, it's like you might still need a job.
Nah,
you know
for sure. But I seen a lot of entrepreneurship come out of that. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers had to have some ingenuity and some craftsmanship and come up with ways to keep food on the table because, not everybody was getting unemployment. Some of the unemployment was slower. You know what I mean? Whatever the case may be, they jobs shut down. I don't know. But I seen a lot of people create side hustles out of that.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean?
It was a beautiful thing, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what's up, that you even know that that's not what you want to do. I think that's the hardest part about life is trying to figure out what you want to do, but the only way to do that is to do a bunch of shit you don't want to do.
Definitely when you're young, man. I tell people now, like, I work with a couple people. I'm like, yo, go put your hands in everything. Don't, you know what I mean? Don't be scared to put your hands in everything. And that's what
at the end of the day, it's gonna help you get to where, all right, I don't fuck with that. I don't like that. That shit was horrible. All right, maybe we could try this out. It's all about being open. Yeah. That's what I tell people. I get that shit a lot because people like look at me a certain way and they're like, yo, you're doing this, you're doing that. I'm like, bro, you don't realize how many times I failed at a lot of this shit. A lot of it is trial and error. There is no learning without failing.
Exactly.
There is no learning without failing. So, you know what I mean? That's what's up, that you're a step ahead of most people. Most motherfuckers is 50 years old still working jobs that they hate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure you know what it feels like to have to wake up and be like, fuck, I got to go to work.
I did it. I did a warehouse job, man, and I seen it. This is when I noticed it. I did it for like 2 weeks.
That's how. It only took you 2 weeks.
Yeah, because I walking in and it's like from 3 in the afternoon to 3 in the morning. First of all, the hours is crazy, and then I'm going in. I'm seeing people way older than me, got me by 3 times my age. I'm just like, yo, I can't be. That's not me. That's just not me. So I approached it. I walked in one day. Was like, hey, yo, this is not for me. They were like, are you going to let us know when you leave? I'm like, nah, I'm leaving right now.
this is it, dog.
Yeah,
I came in to show face and give you the respect. But
yeah, but that's it. I'm done.
I worked a warehouse job one time, and I did it for like a month and a half. And I found a job across the street being a security officer making 25 cents more, just sitting on my ass all day.
Yeah.
The moment I found it, I took it.
Yeah,
I was like, ain't no way. Like, they kept setting these fucking parameters that we had to hit. You got to have a 95% picking rate, a 98, 100, 105. And, it didn't come with no pay raises.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It didn't come with longer breaks. It didn't come with with nothing. They just expected certain things to be done. And I was like, y'all ain't out here getting it with us. So, you know what I mean? You have no clue what it feels like to be walking around this floor. You know what I mean? Your feet hurting all day, your back hurting from lifting up boxes, whatever the case may be. I think that's a huge issue. You know what I mean? People think that shit's normal. People really think that shit's normal.
All right, I have my own opinion about it because not everybody could be the boss.
No, I don't think so either.
Not everybody could be the boss.
It takes a lot of fortitude to lead.
Yeah. So it's like you have to have some people in place, you know what I mean, that's able to do that. Now, rather somebody find some fulfillment behind what they're doing, their life would be a lot more, even if they're not getting paid top dollar. But as long as you're fulfilled, because money, you know what I mean, is money. Money could come any way. But as long as you're doing something with fulfillment, I feel like that, like, fill you up more, you know what I mean? You'll have more to live for.
Right. That's that shit that gets you up and makes you want to get out of the bed in the morning and not forcing yourself to have to. And that's what I was referring to as far as people not necessarily enjoying the work that they do.
Yeah.
I can do this shit all day.
Yeah.
This is one of the things I love to do. I love to help people, like you said. I love to talk. I love to give advice, all that shit. So this is right up my alley. You know what I mean? Bouncing ideas, conversing with people. At the end of the day, that's why I started this whole show. It's just to have conversations, bounce ideas, hear what people are up to. You know what I mean? shit, I might even learn something from you. So
yeah, I'm hoping to learn a couple things from you today. You know what I mean?
Nah, that's what's up though. So I know before off camera, you was mentioning that you were gonna be starting up your own shit.
Yeah.
So give us a little plug, man. You use my platform to promote your platform.
I know I'm starting a podcast.
All right.
I know it's gonna get started within, I would say, a month. I would
Okay.
give myself a time limit. I'm gonna say a month.
There's gonna be people looking for it too. So
yeah,
you better deliver.
it's gonna be within a month.
All right.
You know what I mean? We're working on it right now. Getting all the things we need for it.
Right.
Do I have a name for it yet? We're working on that too. So we don't know what it is yet, but you know what I mean, eventually we're going to get out there, and I'll definitely shoot you, you know what I mean, a direct message.
I would love to come on your podcast and fuck shit up.
Definitely.
Fuck shit up. Yeah. That's what it's all about, bro. That's what it's all about. People get to certain points in their life and they think that they're too good to help motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Yo, you didn't get to where you are today without having somebody give you resources, tools, you know what I mean? Even maybe even financial help for all you know. But you know what I mean? Everybody needs somebody.
Yeah, it's not about doing it by yourself.
No.
You know what I mean? You need that team. You need a great team around you. And that's what, like, me this year been big, just because, like, I'm trying to get away from those who aren't necessarily to not the level I want them, but consciously there. You know what I mean?
No, I know exactly what you mean. A motherfucker's head ain't on the same plane as yours.
Yeah.
It'll never work. You know what I mean? It's kind of like being on a football field and having somebody who's preoccupied with what's going on at home. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you're a liability out here rocking with us. You know what I mean? Your head ain't in the game. You ain't focused on the same. Our goals aren't aligned. You can't be here.
Yeah, so that's just separating yourself. You know what I mean? I want a team that's strong, that believes, that carries themselves strong, that is gonna put in the work, and a whole bunch of bosses. You know what I mean? I'd rather surround myself with a whole bunch of people who want to be bosses, who want to be leaders, who want to speak up for things, who want to do the opposite of what everybody else is doing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. It's very easy to follow. It's very easy to follow. Everybody follows somebody. I'm sorry, people. My charger fell out the wall from my computer. We're gonna thug this bitch out. Hey, this is what I'm talking about as far as growing pains. At the end of the day, you know what I mean? Nothing is gonna be perfect when it starts. Shit, it might not even be ideal, but the big thing is that you're out there and you're trying. You know what I mean? That's the biggest thing.
That's definitely a message I want to give, is what can you do now towards anything. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to start something, it's like, don't wait for as I said, I'm waiting for some things, but as far as I'm getting a plan ready, I'm getting title and the name ready, I'm getting where we're going to do this at. You know what I mean? What can I do now to make it happen? Because you got to get some momentum going under you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So just start doing stuff. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, just start doing it.
Baby steps, man, is baby steps. It's about you're not supposed to have it all together today.
Mm-hmm.
That I think that's the one reminder I always have to tell myself, because I'm one of those people where it's like now I got the idea, I'm ready to rock.
Mm-hmm.
And even if I don't have all the pieces in place yet, and sometimes you got to pull back on the reins and make sure that everything's organized. Like you said, planning. You know what I mean? When you don't plan, you are planning to fail.
Yeah,
essentially
exactly.
That's what it is. I'll be honest. The only plan I had for this shit was to stay consistent. That was my plan.
And that's a good plan, because consistency is key. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's these are the growing pains of it, but it's being consistent. That was my plan when starting this. And that was because I sat on this idea for like over a year.
Yeah.
And at some point you take too much time. Time's the only thing we don't necessarily all have.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We might think we have it, but the only thing that's going on right now is right here, right now. You know, anything can happen once we walk outside this door. You know what I'm saying? So that you have to value the time that you have. You have to make sure that you're doing something purposeful with the time that you have. You know, so I've been there all too well. I know exactly what that feels like, of trying to make sure everything is getting all your ducks in a row, so you can get the train moving.
Yeah,
you know
but
what I mean?
It's what you could do now, man. Like, what can you do? Like, let's get it going. That's why I be telling my one boy that I working with now, I'm like, all right, we're talking about it, but what's the next step now? You know what I mean? What can we do today? What can we do this week? What can we plan out this week to make sure things are starting to happen?
Right.
You know what I mean? as far as you do that, I feel like, and start getting momentum, it's either like you get the momentum. And the thing is about consistency, as you said, is because if you start doing it and then you fall off, then you're not giving it enough time to really like get the train rolling, you know what I mean? So it's just like keep going with it, with the consistency. But as long as you're starting and just not thinking and just not wishing and praying for things to happen, like you got to take action. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Nothing happens without you putting in the footwork.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing. So I you mentioned you was in school, you left for school, and you moved across the country. Is school something that you want to go back to or nah?
Nah, I'm good.
Is this something that you're gonna need for any of the arenas you're about to try to jump into?
Nah.
I feel like school at this point, especially for me, is not happening anymore. Yeah. It's too much money, and you got the world at your fingertips now.
Yeah, you know, you could do anything without. I mean, certain people need school.
Yeah, doctors, lawyers. I want y'all to be educated.
Yeah. Certain people need school definitely, but me, I went to school for football. You know what I mean? I didn't go for the whatever I was. I was in a business major, which, to be honest, I learned better on my, like, I'm more self-taught. I'd rather pick up a book that I'm interested in, or I know what I need to learn in order to do what I want to do.
Right.
So if I don't need a degree for what I want to do. You know what I mean? So I'd rather go teach myself what I need to know. School, you get put into classes, and it's like you gotta learn what's in those classes, and that's not really for me. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'd rather I'm better when I teach myself and dedicate my time. Is more valuable to me. You know what I mean?
That's the one thing I think the entire school system, not even colleges, high schools, middle schools, I think that's the one thing we should get back to. Yeah. If we ever even did it to begin with, which is teaching students what they want to learn. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Why do you think, like, there's a huge reason why we have a huge workforce, and like you said, not enough bosses, not enough people that know they got all the tools and resources around them to do what they actually truly want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's because we're taught how to think. You know what I mean? They put us in classes. They teach us a bunch of shit and math, and like, bro, I haven't used a single thing from Algebra 2, but I had to do it. I had to do it in order to graduate, but.
And that's what they want. You know what I mean? They want to keep people in check in a way. You know what I mean? If we talk about that, you know what I mean? They want to keep people in check. It's like you got a deep thinker. Like, why do they want, you know what I mean? Why do they want people to stay in school? Why do they want people? Because the workforce is easy. The same way you're in school is the same way you're in the workforce. You know what I mean? You're listening to somebody.
Taking orders.
You're taking orders. You're not being able to think for yourself, which is a big one. People, you know what I mean, have to start doing is think for themselves.
Shit, the big one, the most important thing. You know what I mean? We all live lives at some point or another, you know what I mean, where we feel like we're in that rat race you was talking about, where even if it feels like we're starting to get ahead, we're not actually going. It's like a hamster wheel, you know what I mean? Don't matter how fast you run.
Yeah.
And that's a huge problem today. I don't know. That's the one reason I'm not interested in going back to school, man, because I feel like everything that I like you said, everything that I'm looking to accomplish for myself, personal goals, I don't need that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I already own a business. I already own a house. And that's floor level for me. Those are foundational goals to set. You know, it's only fucking up from here.
Exactly.
And I think that has to be people's mindset if they ever want to truly be happy.
Yeah, and as I said, it's about thinking for yourself, man. Like, a lot of people, they don't question enough, you know what I mean? So they don't question enough.
Nobody
of what's
asking
going on.
enough questions.
Yeah. So it's just like, how can you get out of the rat race if you're not questioning what's really going on and you allowing people to think for you? You know what I mean? So it's like, you gotta be able to think for yourself. You gotta learn how to think for yourself. And it's crazy now because we got social media, we got all these things that shorten our attention span and stuff like that. So now we can't even pay attention to what's really going on. You know what I mean?
Right.
We're not able to fully pay attention to the goals we got because our attention span is so small. You know what I mean? So it's just like, we got to think for ourselves. We got to grow our attention span. We have to learn how to work as a team. All those things we already mentioned, those are key components to really starting to move on.
Onto the path that you're looking to get onto.
Yeah.
So speaking of social media, do you use social media a lot?
I mean, not as much as a normal person. I mean, I'll catch myself at work when it's slow.
Right.
But even then, I'm trying to figure out what can I do now that is gonna make, you know what I mean, me move in life. So if I'm at work, I might start writing down or planning out some stuff. But there's some days that I do catch myself scrolling on social media, but I don't have every social media platform.
What do you use?
Instagram.
That's the only one I pretty much. I use TikTok now simply for this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I had one before, but I almost never even got on it.
Yeah, and that's what it's like. I'm trying to be more of the person who uses. I want to use the platform. I don't want the platform to use me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm trying to take that transition.
It's like your tools that you got in your toolbox.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I said that I think it was just like on a regular Instagram video, and I was saying like the amount of time that we all spend, and I was guilty of it at some point too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? These platforms have us fucking, they're hooked. You know what I mean? We roll out of bed. What's the first thing we do? We don't even go brush our teeth first.
Yeah.
We looking at our
Your
phone,
phone
looking to see how many likes and comments we got on posts and shit like that. None of that shit really matters at the end of the day. None of it. And that was something I even had to convince myself of, was that none of it truly matters, because, you know what I mean? There was times where my water heater broke in my house, and them likes wasn't, nobody who liked that post was gonna come and help me out. You know what I mean? But I was looking for validation outside. You know what I mean? to make me feel better. And ultimately all that shit starts right here.
Yes.
Right here.
And you know what I mean? That's important too. That's talking to spirituality. I seen you were more into the spirituality things.
Oh yeah. That shit turned my life upside down, dog.
Yeah, I mean that shit, yeah, that's crazy.
How'd you get onto the spirituality shit? I'm about to put this shit back on the mic stand. Now we're about to get to the nitty gritty.
Yeah, for me,
yeah,
I don't know if there was an exact moment. I feel like there was different moments in my life that showed a little bit more. You know what I mean? Because I've always been somebody who questioned things.
Okay.
So even when I was younger, and I felt like when I was younger, I just remember watching, seeing certain things, watching certain things, hearing certain things. It's like, this ain't right. So I feel like my life and my journey, it led me to the spirituality, because certain things kept happening to make me question things. And then I start looking deeper and deeper and digging deeper and digging into some deep, dark stuff eventually, which, you know what I mean, I was hooked on that for a little bit. Now I'm like, all right, let me get away from that. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. This shit's doing more negative.
Yeah, and then
positive.
it's positive. So let me get back to what the core essence of being a human is, you know what I mean? And being a spiritual being and type stuff like that, because what's deeper, what's life, you know what I mean? Asking all those type of questions and just going to figure it out and stuff. And plus I grew up religious. My dad, you know what I mean?
I was gonna say, who was religious, because your mama was not religious. Not from what I remember.
Nah, my dad. So I grew up, as he raised me to be religious. And me and him, you know what I mean, we bust heads still about it. We're starting to get to a point where it's more comfortable, we could talk about
respect,
it. Yeah, we could talk about it, and we could understand each other's point of views type thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I grew up, but it just didn't seem right. So then I went to Becca, and I started looking into other religions and just trying to figure out what do I find true. And then it took me down to spirituality. I'm like, yo, this seems real to me.
Yeah, yeah. This message resonates with me. So was there any big influence like that kind of put you onto the path, or was there like a certain moment in your life where it's like this is how you gravitated? So for example, like what was it, last year after I had lost that election for city council, you know, I had my first bout with depression. Mm-hmm. And I didn't even know I was going through it until my wife basically one random day, she was like, yo, you're around here, you moping around the house, you barely get out of bed. When you are, you spending all your time drinking, and you just seem like you're mad at the world. You need to do something. You need to talk to someone. You need to figure it out, because this ain't a good look. And I remember at around the same time as when I started smoking weed.
Yeah.
I remember one night she was just on her phone scrolling through TikTok, and she plays this video, and it was titled 5 Reasons Why You Shouldn't Be Afraid to Die. Mm-hmm. And typically I mind my business, you know what I mean? I'm not worried about what she's doing on her phone. But I heard this video, and I heard this Australian white woman talking, and bro, I was hooked on that shit. And then a couple hours, maybe like 20 minutes later, she was like, hey, I was thinking about going to see a medium. Do you want to come with me? And hey, listen, kids, don't do drugs, 'cause you have poor judgment. So it was one of the best decisions of my life, but it came out of me having poor judgment. You know, I made an impulsive decision because I was high, and I was like, yeah, I'll go with you. I'll go and support you. I'm expecting to just show up and be the supportive husband. You know what I mean? And we had an hour session, and we ended up doing a whole hour and 30 minutes, and the damn near the entire session was about me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? She went for her. I went to support her, and everybody who came through was for me. You know what I mean? And between that video and going to that medium session, it just opened up this entire path of spirituality for me. So, like, you know, that was my, like, defining moment. And I put the work in, you know what I mean? I do a lot more reading. I do listen to a lot more credible people who got a lot more information, things like that. But did you have a moment like that?
No, I don't think, as I said, I think mine was just life. You know what I mean? I feel like life leads you to certain things. And if you're listening, and you're listening and willing to accept certain things, you'll move accordingly. And I felt like the more I listened, the more things started getting back on track. So I'm just like, hey, yo, because I went through some depression a couple times. But I just know I take responsibility when I go through things like that. You know what I mean? I'm fully responsible. I know I'm feeling this way because something's not right with me. So now I look deeper. And as I start looking,
self-accountability is important.
Yeah. So as I start looking deeper and stuff, like, I'm starting to dig into certain things, and spirituality is one of them. And I don't know what, you know what I mean, exactly you believe in as far as spirituality. Because I believe spirituality is one's own. Like, everybody has their own journey and own beliefs upon it, you know what I mean?
Okay.
But it was just something that just, like, resonated with me. And as I'm researching it, it just seemed right. And I'm like, and I'm going to credible resources, you know what I mean? I'm looking into the data. I'm looking at the history of religions. I'm just looking crazy because I'm trying to figure out what's my purpose as a human. Not what fulfills me, two different things, but what's my purpose as a human, and why are we here? What are we doing here? Type thing like that. So I'm just looking into it, and it's, I found some information, but it's a journey.
Right.
You know what I mean? I keep growing. I'm growing.
So is there any areas within spirituality that you like to focus on? Like me personally, I think it's because the whole medium visit is how I even got into this space to begin with. So, like, mediumship is very big for me. And I know another thing that was really, like, that I focused a lot of my
For those who
research
don't
on
know,
was-
explain mediumship.
Okay, so mediumship. Oh shit. But so mediumship is the ability to communicate with souls who are no longer here. You are that bridge between the afterlife and here in this physical reality. And they provide that bridge for a normal human being who lost their child or lost their mother or lost their friend, whatever the case may be, and you need some closure. You know, you want the ability to make sure that they're not gone, they're not banished in some hell or stuck somewhere in some heaven. You know, you want to make sure that everything that you have built together, it didn't just end when they died. You know what I mean? And so that's what a medium has the ability to do. Now, there's a lot of different mediums. You know, you got ones that use music to channel, some that use art to channel, some that are just empathic. There's all types of different forms of mediumship that you can get into. My personal, like, favorite is just the ability to more clairvoyance, where, you know, you can hear them or you can see them, like, in your mind's eye and things of that nature. And clear audio is the one where you could hear. But that form of communication with the ones who have moved on, that's something that I personally want to learn how to do.
Okay.
Or to develop, I should say, because from what I understand, we all have that ability. Us being spiritual beings, we all have that ability. A lot of us, just one, don't have the information, and two, don't have the fortitude to put in the work to bring out those abilities that we innately have.
And we're killing our abilities.
Fuck yeah.
You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? They're definitely trying to push it down and keep it held down.
That lower
I
that vibration.
Yeah, lower vibration.
You know what I mean? It's the music we listen to. It's the food we eat. It's the shit we watch. It's the people we associate with. it's all of that shit culminating in us lowering the vibes. You know what I mean? That's where people be like, yo, you killing my vibe. Like, that's a real thing.
Yeah.
That's a real thing. When people bring that negative, that bad energy around you, you could feel like they don't even have to be interacting with you. You could just feel that shit. You could be like, yo, I don't want this motherfucker around me.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And that's you using your intuition without you even realizing it. You know what I mean? And how many times we've been at parties and we hear people that say that, like, yo, man, they got bad vibes over there. Yeah. And people don't even realize that's a spiritual
thing.
That's a spiritual
real thing. It's true.
And so, yeah.
Now the question was, what was my
Yeah. Like, so is there an area that you like to primarily focus on within spirituality, or is it just all in knowing how to get your soul right? Like, or is that I
would say that's a key part, you know what I mean? That's definitely a key part. But I like to focus on anything. Like, I'm trying to be the best version of myself.
Fuck yeah.
So you know what I mean?
That.
So
I like that. So, everybody say that shit, but not everybody mean it.
Yeah, definitely. So like full circle, physically, mentally, spiritually, relationship wise, I'm trying to, I'm better myself in every area. So, and I feel like spirituality is the key part to everything, because like, of course you gotta take care of your body, but you gotta know why you want to take care of your body. Why do you want to take care of your body? For you could look good, that's so shallow, you know what I mean? For you, it's kind of shallow. But when you notice that, like, we as spiritual beings, this is a vessel to us, but how they're killing our bodies with the foods and stuff we put in, if we take care of our body, our vibration naturally goes up. Yeah. So you're able to be more, you know what I mean, see more things. I was talking to this one guy actually, and you know what astral projection is?
Astral projectionist? Nah.
It's like an out of body experience basically. And basically you gotta look up into it, but it's like basically you're able to travel without your physical body.
I've heard that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've heard of that.
So I had a guy who said he's done it. It was a random meetup. I'm at the park. I was running at the time, and I took some time to sit, and there's like a nice view. I took some time to sit and look at the view for a minute, and he's over here playing the flute. Like as loud as he possibly could, but it was a nice sound. I'm like, oh, this is actually peaceful. Sat there with him, and he wound up coming to me and just talking to me, like saying how he could feel my energy and stuff and how everything. So I'm like, cool. And he was just talking to me about astral projection. He said it's like he's been to crazy places, like, you know what I mean, you could travel like across the world, but you know what I mean. But I feel like that's too outlandish for you to wrap your mind around right now. No, definitely. I mean, I definitely believe in. You know what I mean? I'm not against it. You know what I mean? I haven't experienced it yet. So it's like if I could experience something like that, that would be dope. I feel like I'd be ready for it. But it is a bit of, you know what I mean? It's crazy sounding, but I definitely don't not believe in it because I haven't experienced it yet. I'm not going to say he's wrong. So you just like, I hold off any judgments I have until I get my opportunity. Yeah. That's how I am. But I would love to experience that. I'm into all that shit, bro. Yeah. I'm into all that shit. Not necessarily the outer body experience per se, but I'm open to it. Yeah. You know what I mean? I've heard of people going into seances and having those outer body experiences, doing astral travels and shit like that. I've heard a tremendous amount of, well, I've learned like a tremendous amount of information. Some of this shit will freak me the fuck out. Yeah. Like I've heard of people giving like physical mediumships and like where like they have fucking the spirits coming into the room and knocking shit off walls and lifting chairs, and that shit would probably scare the fuck out of me. Yeah, I'll probably scare the fuck out of me too. But like also the other side to it is it's like, yo, that shit's possible. Yeah, definitely. That shit's possible. So like whenever like people be like, oh, I think this is it. Like when you die, I think this is it. For me personally, it's like, how much research did you really do? Yeah. Because I think anybody who takes even 5 minutes to look into this can be like, all right, there's something here. It's not like the motherfuckers who believe that the earth is flat. It's not like that, where there's like a lot of things, a lot of information that can prove that it's not. How can anybody say like somebody who died and was dead for 5 minutes and came back and didn't receive no brain damage and full recovery when they were supposed to not even be here, and what they experienced in that time of being dead, how can you tell them that it's not bullshit? You know what I mean? You didn't experience it. That's what I'm saying. It's just about keeping that open mind and being willing to, you know what I mean, accept. A lot of things are conditioned, you know what I mean? So conditioning to somebody's mind that no, this ain't true, or no, this is that way. But once you release all those conditions and start having an open mind and you're able to accept more things, not saying you gotta believe it, but just knowing that it might be possible. That's how I see everything. Like, that shit's crazy, but that might be possible. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Who am I to say it isn't?
Yeah. So it's just like having that open mind, man.
So since I mentioned the medium visit, have you ever tried some shit like that? Have you been open to trying something like that?
I'm definitely open to it. I haven't had the chance to go yet. I actually attended. You sent me a message the other day for the free one. It was a Zoom call.
The Sunday service.
Yeah, it was a Zoom call. I was at work, so I did like 20 minutes, just checked it out, see what was going on, you know what I mean? Pretty cool things going on, but I think they were like learning how to do it still. They were just practicing and stuff.
Okay.
But I think I got to go in person to get the full experience.
Well,
you know what I mean?
They only do the Sundays. They started the Sunday services because they used to do like live conferences.
Mm-hmm.
But then when the pandemic started, they cut all that out. So they still had to figure out a way to spread the message of spirituality. Okay. And the Sunday service was what the outcome was of the live conferences being done. Now they changed like the speakers, and they have different things going on a weekly basis. The only things that are consistent is what they do in the episodes, where they're spreading like messages of love and, you know what I mean, and camaraderie amongst people and things of that nature, and the mediumship, where they give the medium readings at the end of the show. Those are the only two things that are consistent, but every week is a different thing. Most of the time it's different people like doing the speaking or doing the music for the day, whatever the case may be. But did I ever send you the We Don't Die radio?
I don't think you have, nah.
So We Don't Die radio is a podcast that you can get anywhere. Apple Podcasts, fucking Google Podcasts, or whatever. But it's ran by a woman named Sandra Champlain, and she's basically the voice of spirituality, or one of the big voices of spirituality, where she brings in all these people from all across the world, some of the most popular mediums, hospice doctors, you know what I mean, people that watch people die on a daily basis and are with them in their final moments, all types of people, nurses, teachers of like spiritual teachers, and all different types of shit, shamans, and she has them come up and she does this, you know what I mean, where they converse, they talk, they share their stories, they share their evidence, and then, you know what I mean, and then you get these links from like their websites and things that and shows that they're holding, where these people get to kind of embrace you more into the world of spirituality and what spirituality is and what it looks like and all this stuff. So it's real dope. I'll definitely share the link with you. I'll put the link in the bio of this as well, so you guys can get a feel for it yourself, experience it yourself. That was another thing that always, like, whenever I felt like I was getting out of touch with my spirituality, you know what I mean, that was always something that grounded me, because it was easy. I could just throw my headphones in, pick any episode, and, you know what I mean, there'd be something in that episode for some reason that was like, yo, hey, this is your wake-up call to get back on your shit. You know what I mean? So
what, do you try to do something on a daily basis to stay, you know what I mean, connected to the spirituality part of you? The routine is taking care of my body, which is like, you know, making sure I'm stretching every day. I cut down. I used to, like, I have like a 12-pack in the house. That should have last me like 4 days. It takes me like fucking nearly 3 weeks now to drink a 12-pack of beer. Okay. So, you know, like the alcohol consumption has cut down. You know, so it's little things like that. I practice yoga. I journal now. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a lot of things like the self-care. You know, and that's ultimately what it was, because I wasn't taking care of myself before spirituality came around. You know, once that bout with, even before the bout of depression, you know, I wasn't doing none of these things. But the spirituality has made such a positive change in my life, simply because it's like, yo, if you really want to be here and be around and truly get to live the best version of you, you got to take care of yourself first and foremost. Definitely. And ultimately, I ain't got it all together. I ain't got it all figured out. You know what I mean? I still have a couple beers, probably too many on Sundays for football games. Man, that's you got to have a beer on Sunday. A couple of beers, you know what I mean? But it's a journey, man. It's not, you don't got to have it all figured out. You're never going to have it all figured out. Exactly. And it's baby steps. You know what I mean? It's baby steps. And I realized, like, it might not sound like much to anybody else, but I know personally I've made progress. And at the end of the day, as long as I'm not where I used to be, I'm here now. Hey,
I'm on the right fucking path. I'm getting my shit together.
For you.
For me
That's
personally.
what I'm saying. It don't even matter what nobody else thinks. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? It's for you. You know what I mean?
That's also a hard thing. Speaking to people who care a lot about what other people think.
Mhm.
That's something that I struggle with today too. You know what I mean? The way our world is set up, the way our society is set up. That's all we do is give a fuck what people got to say about us.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm not perfect at it either, but I feel like I'm definitely. Could care less a little bit more than the average, but I'm still. There's certain things that I care about. You know what I mean? That even when I would say awareness comes into me, I notice it and I'm like, fuck it, I gotta do it now. Once I get that awareness call, like, hold up, you care what they think. Now you gotta do what you were gonna do before you cared what they think. You know what I mean?
Right. Roll with the punches.
Yeah, you just gotta do it. But and just putting myself in uncomfortable situations helped me with that. You know what I mean?
That's the big thing. That's where a lot of the growth is. That's why people stay at jobs for 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That they hate. It's comfortable. It's they know exactly what this path is gonna entail. I know I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna go to work for 5 days a week, 40 hours a week. I'm gonna bring home a $1,200 check at the end of the week, and you know I'm gonna have this amount of money by the end of the month. All that shit's comfortable for somebody because you know.
You can't grow in your comfort zone.
You can't grow in your comfort
can't
zone,
grow in
dog.
your comfort zone.
You gotta expand, man. Listen, we ain't got physical wings, but they there. I promise you. Just spread them bitches.
Yeah.
Spread them.
But going back to what people think, it's something like once you get out of that mindset for people, a lot of people, for me personally, I can only talk what I experienced. Once I got out of mindset, like I seen my life like go up 3 times, like as far as me doing the things I want, me doing things I thought were fun, but I might have thought that they didn't care. Just me doing whatever the fuck I want.
What you want.
You know what I mean? Like, I seen everything go up. Now I'm more happy, I could say, because of that. Because before, when I was thinking, damn, like, what is this person going to think? Oh, I can't wear this shirt because what is this girl going to think? You know what I mean?
Right.
Stuff like that. Now I wear what I want, walk around how I want, with my chest held high, my head raised high, and it just teaches you how to walk different. And then it gives you that leader support because not a lot of people could do that. So now you got people looking at you like, damn, what makes that, what gives me this? So now people are looking
He's
up.
fucking bold.
Yeah.
He's bold.
Yeah, exactly. And now you got people trying to be like that. So I'm like, don't care what anybody thinks about you.
It puts into perspective like how we treat people like Kanye.
Mm-hmm.
Like Kanye is a perfect example for me. Like I always think about that, like how the world treats him like a nutcase. Even I'm guilty of it, where I'm just like, this motherfucker's over here trying to sell an album, like, and solely thinking it's based because of that. Like, there's a very thin line between being a genius and being crazy. It's about this thick. You know what I'm saying? So people who are thinking for themselves and moving on their own accord, they're always gonna look a little wild to people.
Yeah.
They're always gonna look a little crazy.
And those are the people who know themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're willing to step out because I'm one to always clap for the one moving the opposite direction of the crowd. You know what I mean?
It's always easy to travel the road that everybody travels on. But the one less traveled is the most rewarding path you can take.
Yeah, and I clap for those people because I like those are the people that I want to be around, actually. I want to be around the people that are doing their own thing. You know what I mean? The crowd is too boring for me. It's bored there.
And it's fucking packed.
Yeah, it's too many people you know what I mean? So
a great example. Now I don't know this dude personally, but his brother is my barber. He's been my barber since he was 14 years old. Shout out to Tad. Big shout out to Tad. But he got a brother named Tanner, and Tanner's probably like the same age as me, maybe even a year older. But Tanner wears the most outlandish facial hair. You know what I mean? Like, he'll have fucking mutton chops, and then he won't have nothing but a big ass like Santa Claus beard, and then you come out and then he only got like this part but nothing else on his face. Like, he just has like the most outlandish like facial hair like setups. Yeah. And I remember the first time looking at him, I seen him for the first time. I'm like, yo, he kind of looks like Tad. I was like, but he looks fucking weird. Yo, I'm like, yo, he don't look like nobody down here. And I remember seeing a picture on Tad's profile of him and his brother. So the next time I got a haircut, I was like, yo, Tad, that's your brother, right? He's like, yeah. I was like, yo, your brother must be the coolest motherfucker in the world. He was like, bro, I learned so much from my little brother because he is the epitome of I don't give a fuck what you think about me. Exactly. And bro, like I hope to be bold like that one day. Like, I still care. Like, I hate it, but I care sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, I hope like this show is what helps me break out of that mode where I kind of just go like, I don't give a fuck.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's ideal. That's ideal for anybody. And nobody wants to care what anybody thinks about them. You know what I mean?
It's too hard to live the life that you want to live and live how other people expect you to live or want you to live.
And the thing is, a lot of times we care about people who don't give a fuck about the
us.
situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We'd be caring, and they're not even looking at us. They don't
Yeah.
care. They got their eyes on something else, and we're like, damn, my shirt wrinkled. Like, you know what I mean? It'd be the little shit.
I tell my wife that now too. Like I've never cared about the way I looked out in public.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't, because at the end of the day, like if I ever wanted to get dressed, I can get dressed.
Yeah, definitely.
But my wife is like she'd be like, I was like, yo, I honestly I don't really like that color, and then I'd be like, yo, and then she changed. I'm like, yo, you look good. I like that. I like that. And then we'll go outside, and like there's like this fucking little ass small red stain on the sleeve, and she's like, oh my god, you didn't tell me the shirt was dirty. I'm like, the shirt's not dirty, dog. Like nobody, I didn't even know that was there until you yelled that it was there.
Yeah.
Like nobody's paying attention to us. Nobody
paying
cares.
attention.
And
they're worried about their own things that they think people, you know what I mean? Everybody's worried. Everybody's doing the
worried
same
about
thing.
themselves.
Yeah.
They're just trying to get through the day.
And a lot of people are just like everybody else who care what other people think. So they're worried about what other people think about them instead of, you know what I mean? A lot of people aren't really judging. They're judging themselves. And that's what we got to get out of. Stop judging ourselves and thinking. I seen your podcast with your son. I'm like, you were telling him, like, you got to think highly of yourself, basically. You know what I mean? You should always think you're the shit, you know what I mean, walking through. And that's what everybody has to do, is think they're the shit, you know what I mean?
If everybody, like, we have this saying in football for the kids we coach, is like, yo, don't like, they be running like during the warm-ups, the last couple sprints before they get their first water break, and they're all looking at each other as they're running.
Mm-hmm.
And you know something about running, unless you're looking at where you're going,
Yeah.
you're not necessarily going to get there any faster. You're actually slowing yourself down because you're worried about where he's at. And we're like, yo, just water your own grass. Just water your own grass.
Yeah.
Don't worry about what his grass looks like. Just water your own grass. Run your fastest right here. Just focus on this. And I guarantee you're gonna be you're gonna be before somebody else that you didn't expect to beat. Simply off you worrying about you. Because guess what? He's looking at somebody else, just as you're looking at somebody else. Nobody's really running their own race.
And the person who's first was looking at the finish
person,
line. You know what I mean?
So I, you know, it's such a simple concept, but it's such a hard concept for people to live.
So how do you think people start actually working on changing these, like, things that, you know what I mean, are going on in their head, or even habits? How do people start? What's your advice for people who start building habits?
Well, I'll answer the first question. So how I think people get over that is work on your imperfections.
Mm-hmm.
Work on all the things that you think people notice about you and make them strengths. Find a way to make them strengths. I have a problem getting up in the morning sometimes. So my weakness is going to bed on time.
Okay.
You know, if I want to be more engaged in the morning, if I want to be more energetic, if I think that I'm dragging people behind, I got to start going to bed just a little bit earlier than I currently do. And essentially that's what it is. It's just water your own grass, putting in baby steps to get to where you want to go. I'm not going to, if I go to bed every night at 12, I'm not going to just start going to bed at 10.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to start at 11:50.
Yeah.
And I break it down to 11:40. And then 11:30.
Just baby steps.
Baby steps, you know what I mean? because we're all a work in progress. This shit's a fucking journey. It's not, we're you know, nobody's going cold turkey on all the things that they've been considered downsides to themselves overnight. Nobody's doing that. And then your second question was what?
And start building the habits.
Starts
About, like, you know, because a lot of people start, as for New Year's, to have a resolution to do something. It'll go a week, but then they're right back into what they were doing before, and they're not holding on. For instance, going to the gym. They go to the gym for a week, and it's like they slowly fall off, or they just cold turkey, you know what I mean?
Right. So I'm going to have to piggyback off the last thing that I said, is just setting the intention and learning to have the consistency, like bringing up the gym point. I remember I follow a lot of women because that's something that I want to get into. So I follow a lot of women and men who do exercise, like, you know what I mean? They lift weights. One of my goals in the next 12 months is to put on 12 pounds of muscle. I'm at 10 pounds of muscle. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet, but I follow all these motherfuckers who lift weights to put on muscle. And I remember this one video, she had done like a fan review video, and somebody had asked her, how did you build the consistency to continue to go to the gym? She said it wasn't easy. She said, but I made a promise to myself that I would never go 2 days without not going to the gym. So I go on Monday, and if I don't want to go on Tuesday, I don't go on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to go on Wednesday.
Okay.
It's absolutely like if it's the last thing I fucking do, I have to go to the gym. And if I don't feel like going on Thursday, I gotta go on Friday. And she was like, you know, and eventually it became part of my routine, part of me.
Because it only takes so once you start doing it consistently, you feel weird if you don't do it. You know what I mean? It's a habit that you built.
Right. And habits are hard to break, and habits are hard to create.
Mm-hmm.
But if you create a positive habit, it's gonna be just as hard as the bad habit to break.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If not harder, because that good habit is gonna bring some gratification.
Yeah,
out
and
of
you
it.
feel good doing it. You know what I mean? So that's
gonna
keep you doing. Yeah, exactly.
So, you know, ultimately, yo, man, just put your best foot forward. It's kind of like what I said to you about the podcast. You're like, I'm trying to get, you know, things leveled out. I'm like, yo, man, just start that shit.
Yeah,
just start it. Yo, when me and my wife, we did our first podcast close to 2 years ago now. It was called Let's Talk About It. And we used to sit right there on the couch, and we used to put our phone up, and we didn't even have headphones, no microphones, no nothing. And we used to just talk to the camera.
Okay.
And they would be about 15-minute videos, whatever case may be, on relationship advice and stories of how we got over certain humps in our relationship, yada, yada, yada. But, you know, I know doing that, I had such a great time doing that. I knew that this was in the plans at some point or another. It was more about me setting the initiative, setting the intention, and putting my best foot forward and going for
Just
it.
doing it, getting it done.
Yeah. So, I mean, the hardest part of anything is getting started. What's up, Jinx?
It scared me.
This is my cat, Jinx. This the guy right here. Say what's up, man. No, you want to go? All right, whatever. You just want to rub against people. You like cats?
Nah, they cool.
They can't. Or you're a dog
I'm
person?
a dog person, though. Definitely a dog person.
Yeah, I like dogs, but I like cats better. They're simple because you don't got to train these motherfuckers. You know what I mean?
They don't got enough
box.
personality, though. Like,
What?
well, they do have personality. Let me not say that before everybody who likes cats.
Yeah,
you know what
I was about to jump on you.
But nah, I just like something that I got a lot of energy myself, so I like the same amount of energy. I want to go play. I'm just like, you know what I mean? I wouldn't say I'm like a dog, but...
You're like a dog? That's funny. I never heard nobody compare themselves to a dog. Yo, but dogs are dope creatures, though. You know what I mean? I always tell people, like, because the spiritual side, I'm like I remember this one time I was like, yo, do dogs have souls? And I went on, like, this fucking hour-long YouTube binge trying to figure out if animals had souls. And I came up with the answer of yes. I like to think of anything that can give off love, have empathy and sympathy, and can feel joy, has a soul.
Okay, that's interesting, because I would say no.
No?
Nah, I don't think so.
You've never seen a dog grieve?
Yeah, I have, but I don't think they... No, I don't know. I don't know if they have a soul.
It's real dope. And I also learned this from the We Don't Die show, is that you can actually communicate with pets. And like you ever heard of like when people die and they go into that white light, and like, or you ever hear stories of like, oh, I see my grandmother, and I see my mom, and like people's pets wait for them.
That's interesting. I never heard of a story like that yet. I definitely got to look into the.
Oh man, I'm gonna try to find I'm gonna try to find a couple episodes that like gave me a lot of these wild ass information, and just, you know, see if you can gravitate towards it or not.
I'm not against it. You know what I mean? I'm definitely not against it. As I said,
open to everything.
Open to everything, I mean?
Because, you know,
I just haven't experienced or heard of an experience like that yet. This is my first time.
So the idea is that, okay, so this is what I've learned. So the idea is that Earth is a school. Earth is a school. We come here to learn to grow. That's
agreed.
So how do we learn? We learn by failing, by having losses, having you know, turmoil, fucking everything that causes hardship. That's how we grow. You know what I mean? From fail, all that shit. So every single time you have this hardship or this failure or this grief or whatever the case may be, you can't succumb to it. Mm-hmm. The only way to truly fail is to quit. Mm-hmm. You know, ending it, boom. But eventually you're going to get to the other side. Some people it takes longer than others, but the whole goal is to continue to grow. It doesn't matter how bad it is. So the idea is that we don't get to come here originally. Like our soul, who we are inside, you know what I mean? What makes you Kareem, what makes me Eric, what we are inside, we don't just get to start here on Earth, because Earth is one of the hardest schools to come to. Mm-hmm. So we start out as things like animals. which is why we bond so well with animals, which is why people connect so well to animals, which is why animals have, like I was saying, empathy, and they can grieve, and they can love, and they can, show happiness, and all of this shit. So we start off as other beings, and then eventually, when we learn enough living those lives, it's very simple to be a cat.
Mm-hmm.
Eat, shit, kill
Sleep.
little rodents, and sleep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a very simple life. It's easy to be a dog. You know what I mean? It's pretty much the same shit as a cat, except like you might kill bigger shit. Like you might be a predator of bigger shit, or you get to play fetch and things like that. So it's very easy to be those things. There isn't a lot of turmoil there, but you can also have abusive owners. You can be neglected. You know what I'm saying? You could have companionship in your household, and then the other animal die. So they learn what it feels like.
So feeding off of that, after you're human, what do you believe happens to you when you pass from this life?
You incarnate. It all depends on how
level you on,
how developed your soul is.
Okay, because I'm kind of there with it too, in a certain sense. You know what I mean? Because I believe that when you come to Earth, you'll keep growing. Like, and if you don't grow, like some people get stuck in this lifetime and something, but I feel like life keeps showing you things. And you'll keep, because you know how people get stuck in cycles.
Right.
And the same thing, for instance, in relationships, you might find the same boy or girl in the same situation, but different people, but same feelings and emotions in those relationships.
Right.
Check yourself, learn from the experience, go deeper, dig, you know what I mean? Or if you had dad or mom issues and they still show up in those relationships, you got to learn. Like life is going to keep showing you what you need to learn from. Until you learn what it's trying to show you, you're never going to, in my experience, you're never going to get past it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying when we die, if we don't get past certain things, I feel like
you got another opportunity.
Yeah,
there's also this thing that I learned. It's called past life regressions. And this is where it's a form of therapy that you can do with like a spiritual person, but they have like these therapists where they can take you into past lives that you may have lived.
Okay.
And there's people that have went in there and they see themselves as animals. They see themselves, it could be men, and they can see themselves as little Chinese girls.
And you said where's that at?
It's called past life regressions. You should look it up.
Because I just want to hear. Yeah, I want to hear it for myself. Like I want to I've been in there.
Listen, I'm gonna put some links in this. I'm gonna send you them as well. But I'm gonna put some links on this video so that way people who are listening to this can kind of catch up and make their own opinions on it. And feel free to call me fucking crazy. I don't care.
You know what I mean? Like it is what it is.
But there's this thing called past life regressions where you can do this kind of like hypnosis in a way, but you get to go in and you travel on that astral plane, and you get to see other lives that you have lived. Okay, you know what I'm saying? And I remember hearing one story. He was like a 50-something-year-old white man, and he went into it. You can actually see some of these people, their therapy sessions like online, like on YouTube. You hear them more so than video, but the audios, you can hear them. And this dude fucking came out in tears, like bawling, like his mom. He just got news that his mom died, and he was so fucking overcome with emotion. And the therapist's like, well, what did you see? Why are you so overcome with emotion? He's like, I know why I've always had this fear of what do you say? My mom died. Somebody close to him dying. Mm-hmm. And he was like, I see myself as probably like a young, I think he said 12 years old, a 12-year-old peasant farmer. And he was a little girl, 12-year-old peasant farmer in Asia. Mm-hmm. And his village was burned to the ground and people were massacred there. And so he carried over this trauma that he had in his past life from hundreds of years ago. Like this was over 100 years ago what he said. It looked like it was over 100 years ago. He had carried this trauma from his past life into his current life as a 50-year-old white man. Mm-hmm. And he carried over this same fear that he had experienced from a previous life to life this time.
Present time. Yeah. That's crazy, but that's something I would truly believe. Like that's kind of down my lane of belief.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I kind of down that lane.
It's very plausible. You know, it's kind of like genetics. You know, if your mom has high blood pressure, there's a good chance that even if you take care of yourself, you can still develop it because it's part of you.
See, I don't believe in that though.
No, you don't believe.
Nah, I don't
genetics?
believe. Yeah, the only reason because I feel like every human has their own will and own power to, like, if you notice how actually powerful the human body is, it has the powers to regenerate itself. It has, but the thing is, there's a lot of things out there that's killing our power that, you know what I mean, people should look up into, like just wonder why is it healthy? I mean, why is it actually a good thing to eat? Why are, like, our taste buds are all fucked up. So when we eat healthier stuff, it's nasty compared to all the sugar and all the, you know what I mean?
All the shit we're used to consuming and putting in our body.
Yeah, but the human body is actually, you know what I mean, very powerful. So when we think we carry on things from, like, our parents and stuff, I don't believe that. Just because I believe that as a human, I have the right, if I give myself the right things, I can't. That's like saying cancer, like they say cancer is genetics also. Am I right?
I don't know about cancer, but I know things like
breast cancer and stuff. Isn't that like?
Oh yeah. You could be at higher risk.
Yeah, higher risk.
There's higher risk factors.
There's something I did. There was a fact that I just I don't remember it word to word, so I don't want to quote it. But there was something that says, you know what I mean, that's not even true. But I don't want to quote it. I don't even want to say what it was because I don't remember. I just remember hearing it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But yeah, just look into stuff like that and just look into like stuff how actually powerful. People don't give themselves enough power. You know what I mean? They let them take the power away from you, and that's where you have to gain back. You got to gain your power back.
That's that us not seeking the answers when we have all the resources at our fingertips
to do it. You know what I mean?
We spend all fucking day on our phone anyway. You might as well take 5 minutes out your day and just learn something. Learn anything. Anything. Just pick something to introduce yourself to. You know what I mean? Because there's a whole fucking world out there that we're all dismissing because we're so consumed with what's going on right here, right now in our artificial lives on our phones.
Yeah.
Shit like that. None of that shit truly matters, man. None of it does. Because at the end of the day, a lot of us that even follow each other. You know what I mean? I got people that I follow on social media from high school, and I have no clue who they are now.
Mm-hmm. Same. How long ago were you in high school?
Almost 10 years. Next June,
been
it'll
like
be 10
5
years.
for me, and I'm still like, people be coming to me at the bars and stuff like, oh, what's up?
I don't remember people's names. Like, yo, E, what's up? I'm like, what's up, man? How you doing? Long time no see. We should.
Yeah.
I always hate having to do that. People who know me, asking them what their name is again.
I never ask. I just don't even say their name. I'm just like,
that's how I am. I play it on. Like, what's up, bro? I just call everybody bro.
Yeah.
I feel bad though, because it's like, but at the same time, like, you made that small of an impact in my life that your name wasn't worth retaining.
Or I wasn't paying attention. Something happened. Or football. I heard you talk about with your son in CTE. How to, your football players.
You take all the blues.
Shit, something happened where my memory got, messed up. So I was just like, I don't know, if I don't know it, I act like we could be cool for the day. I'm probably not gonna see you after this day anyway. You know what I mean? The
one thing I always feel guilty about is exchanging numbers with people and having no intention of contacting them.
Yeah.
It just is what it is. But I don't want to be rude to people. But it has come in handy where I exchanged numbers mad long ago, and then somebody texts me because they need my help with something or they need some information, and I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even know you had my number, dog. and my number's been the same fucking since high school. So if you got my number one time, you still have it.
Yeah.
Unless you
don't save numbers and stuff like that.
Yeah, don't save number and change your phone 12 times, whatever the case may be. Yo, is there anything else you want to say to the people, man? We had an hour and 3 minutes. It's the longest podcast yet, so
I feel it was a good one.
Yeah. We might have to do this again too, because I feel like there's a lot that we didn't get to talk on.
Nah, we definitely could do it again. I'm open for that, definitely.
For sure.
Any final words? If we hop on here, we could just continue where we kind of left off. You know, it's not gonna be my last time up here.
For sure, we're gonna make sure this happens again.
Yeah.
Because there's a whole group of people out there. The biggest thing I've noticed involved in the spirituality field is that it's mainly women. There's not a lot of men. I'm not sure if you noticed that, but there isn't a lot of men.
from my experience, and I could only say what I experienced is it's equal for me.
It's equal
Well,
for
you know what I mean? What I've seen, because I have a lot of friends that are into it, in different levels of it though. Definitely some been into it longer. Some people are more deeper into it. Some people are in different form. Like as I said, spirituality is your own take of it. So some people are into more crystals and stuff like that, and some people are just more into, as
astrology.
You said, yeah. So it's different forms of it, but there's a lot of people that definitely since the pandemic hit, you know what I mean, I feel like I've seen a lot of growth in that area. It's something that was trending.
The pandemic turned the world upside down, man.
I think it was a good and a bad thing. I think there's more
for
good.
Me personally, it was a great thing, bro. As I told the people, I'm writing a book, and in my book I go through how, like, I break down how it was so goddamn beneficial to me. And bro, the pandemic did exactly what I did. Like, it sucks that the world had to endure what the world had to endure, but bro, I made the fucking absolute best.
We needed it though.
Yeah, I needed a break.
And you need people to open, like, it opened up a lot of people's eyes, as you said, to entrepreneurship, spirituality. It just opened people's eyes. They have so much time that they didn't have before, that I could actually see that life they were living before is not the life they want to continue to live. You know what I mean? So it opened a lot of people's eyes.
It definitely gave people a chance to take a step back, reflect on where they are in life, what they want in life, and then for some they didn't make no adjustments, but for many they made some positive choices in their life, and
start asking questions.
Ask some motherfucking questions. Don't talk so much. I tell my son this especially. I'm like, yo, shut the fuck up sometimes and just listen. Just listen. People will tell you exactly what you need to hear. Whether if you got a preconceived notion, if somebody's like, yo, this is somebody that's a negative person. You know what I mean? They'll show you the signs.
They'll show you it.
This is somebody I got a good feeling about, and they'll show you the signs. You know what I mean? If you want to learn, for sure, just be quiet and just ask more questions and do more listening. You know what I mean? So I'm not even sure what we should like title this episode. I really don't, because you know there's a lot of motherfucking gems in this podcast.
We jumped around a little bit.
Yeah,
but it was good.
It was definitely good, man. I thank you for coming up here. I appreciate it, bro.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
And one more thing I had to say, I actually appreciate you for allowing me, but I appreciate you more because I see the things you're doing. Either whether it's on social media, I see it and stuff. And even to me, it's like an inspiration because it makes me, even though I'm doing a lot of things, it's like, damn, like I could keep doing more and stuff. It's making me push.
The hunger there.
And even seeing you do this, I could only imagine the impact you could have towards more people who could, when they start watching it, and the crowd you like obtain for this, I could, you know what I mean? I see the impact coming.
Thank you. I really appreciate it, bro. I really do. Sometimes the work, you know, especially when you're doing it, when you're putting the work in, it doesn't always feel like you're doing enough. You know what I mean? So I greatly appreciate, you know, your words and everything like that. But listen, we're going to wrap this up. Whole hour and 7 minutes for the people that wanted a longer episode. Motherfucker, you got it. You got it. Hey, yo, man, thank you for coming up here again. I appreciate it. I hope y'all enjoyed the episode. Make sure y'all keep on the lookout for Kareem's podcast when it comes out. Unfortunately, he don't got a name yet.
Yeah, we're figuring it out.
But when it drops, if y'all can't find it, I'll definitely give him a shout out and some press on here, man, because at the end of the day, we got to build together. We need to help each other. Everybody needs somebody. So, You know what I mean? Hey, listen, aim for the moon. If you miss, you're still amongst the stars. Peace.
On my grind just to live it out. Say what's on your mind just to hear it loud. Everybody knows me, really that's the old me. Going through some changes right here and now. I've been on my grind just to live it out.